one of the unexpected benefits of being sober, if you are in the dating market,
Whatever you say, like your subconscious mind is always listening.
that gets so talked about on YouTube with the red pill guys and the manosphere so much that you gotta protect. It's like how
Like
many times are you
physicality?
how many times are you protecting your family? Are you just like in the wrong area? Or are you just like protecting them every week? We're not back in the old days.
Age doesn't mature people. Experiences mature people.
I get that sometimes it could be lame to not go out and drink. I mean, it's just my life now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun for me.
Every time you drink alcohol, you become dumber and poorer and less healthy.
When you come knocking on devil's door, someone's gonna fucking answer.
Finding quality people is kind of hard.
All right, so since we did a podcast about, I guess the unexpected benefits of quitting drinking is, I'm gonna add a part 2 to that. Okay, since I kind of, you know what I kind of feel like. Have you heard that podcast, Call Her Daddy? Have you heard about it?
I heard about it and I watched some clips, but I didn't actually
I feel like we're like the male version of that, man. This I don't know.
call him
Daddy,
mommy.
we're talking about dating and shit. But anyway, one of the unexpected benefits of being sober, if you are in the dating market, is going on dates sober.
Right.
Which I guarantee you, if I had to put a statistic on it, because you know how I love my statistics,
Let's do it.
I'm
Run the
sure.
numbers.
I mean, we don't have like a Jamie, a Joe Rogan here, but I mean, I can Google it real quick. I don't want to waste that time, but I'm sure that not a lot of people go on dates sober. You know what I mean? Especially in the town that we're living in, which is Las Vegas.
For sure. For sure.
That also depends on your demographic too, right? Because you're in your 30s now?
Yeah.
Early 30s?
Yes.
I'm 39, and I kind of hang out with different people, and I look for different people.
Yes.
I'm kind of lame and boring nowadays,
Uh-huh.
so I'll kind of tend to go for girls that, I don't know, maybe have a little bit of head on their shoulders, maybe want to take more things seriously.
Right. More mature.
Yeah, completely opposite to what I was looking for when I was younger. That's for sure.
20s, yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Oh,
you just
dude.
want to party and drink and
Yeah. I was talking
yeah.
about this to my tattoo artist today, man, and I don't know how it came up. I think he brought up something about a girl that he was seeing. And man, yeah, the things, like, you're pretty much made of like rubber and magic when you're fucking, you have all that testosterone when you're around your 20s. But man, as you experience things, you get screwed over here and there,
Right.
or you get heartbroken here and there, and then you just want different things. It's like you have an epiphany in life,
Right.
or an enlightenment in life that you want to tend to get more serious. And I remember, quick story. I remember with one of my ex-girlfriends that I was dating, actually, my longest relationship, it was fueled on alcohol.
yeah. Most
It was pretty
relationships
much. So I met her at Miller's Ale House, right?
Okay.
It's a bar that's now closed down, I think, or it's a different bar now. And it was in Town Square. Anyways, I met her, and I met her through drinking. And it was off to the races from there, meaning we drank pretty much almost every night, shot after shots. I've explained this in other podcasts before, but we were taking shots after shots. We drank every other night, or she drank every other night, and I drank every night. But we drank together pretty much whenever she decided to drink.
So you guys were each other's enablers, basically.
Yeah, exactly. It was a super toxic relationship.
Right.
Right.
The best kind.
Yeah, like she didn't have a job. I had a job, but then it was almost like that's not to make me look good or anything. It's just, we spent all our time drinking pretty much. And what you come to find out is that there's a lot of relationships based on
Drinking alone.
drinking and like just toxicity, right? Drug addictions or whatever.
Right.
There's a lot of relationships like that where it's based on that. It's almost to say if that's kind of why personally for me, I never go, I kind of have to vet a girl whether she's out for your money or not. You know, that's why you don't go around showing your money and how much
Yeah.
you have. Now, I know it's as men, it's almost like we want to
Flashy, like flex it off a little bit.
exactly, right? Because that's one of your most that's it's show and tell pretty
Yeah.
much. That's quote unquote, I guess how a lot of men try to show their bravado about what they have, the nice cars that they have and all that. But if you do that to the wrong person, at least, okay, this isn't all women. Actually, all women are great, but I mean, a lot of women are great. But when it comes
You're gonna
down,
attract the wrong woman. to
yeah,
your
you're
life.
gonna, yeah, exactly. That's straight to the point.
Right.
You're gonna attract the wrong woman, and that's just gonna be your relationship is just gonna be based on what you can give her, meaning what external things you could give her.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I agree. But at the same time, when you're getting into a new relationship and there's going to be like barriers, right? Like, because we, as humans, like we don't like to get hurt or whatever. And alcohol is kind of like a coping mechanism to lower those guards down a little bit and have fun, not think about it that much. And it keeps the conversation going a little bit.
Absolutely.
Another shot. Okay, let's do it. Another drink, another beer. And then that keeps the conversation going at the same time.
You're right. It's definitely okay. So I gotta say that that's why I'm not a alcohol demonizer. Okay, because I know what alcohol could do. Trust me. I'm well aware of the power that it has.
Right.
If you use it correctly, it's almost like a great tool to have.
Yeah.
Right. If you're a quote-unquote-
Moderation, though, right?
yeah, in moderation, and that's the problem is moderation. But it is a good tool to have as far as loosening it up because what it does is I think I read this from How to Control Alcohol by something Allen. I forgot his name, but it just pretty much dumbs down all your senses.
Yeah.
That's why you act the way you do, you say the way you say, because all your functions are pretty much just
Numb. Like,
numb. I'm trying to describe it the best way I can. I don't mean that in like a negative kind of light. It is, where your senses are fucking dumbing down, but
Yeah.
that's essentially what it's doing. And yeah, it's dumbing down your senses, and then it's getting you to just loosen up, right?
Open
That's really what they mean by saying just liquid courage.
courage,
Yeah. And if you're on a first date and the other girl wants to, loosen up a bit because she likes you a bit,
Yeah.
fucking hell, go for it, man.
Yeah, have a
get
couple of
drunk,
glasses of
whatever.
wine,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Getting that crazy, like getting those crazy conversations to where you're vulnerable if you're not that vulnerable of a person.
Mm-hmm.
Because for sure, I know a lot of men aren't. Here's the other thing is that a lot of men aren't vulnerable. Hence why I think it's hard for them to start a conversation. That's a crazy point, right?
Right.
That's almost like a light bulb moment. It's hard for guys, especially that don't drink, to speak with a woman. Like, say, just during the daytime or something to get the approach in.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they know how to be vulnerable. Like, yeah, you probably shouldn't tell her all your fucking issues.
Right, of course not.
Yeah, right off the bat. But even being vulnerable, even saying, "Oh man, yeah, like I kind of cried during that movie."
Yeah.
Just casually, I say that all the time, dude. I say I cried in the Avengers movie when fucking Iron Man died. I mean,
dude.
did I? Is that too?
Heartbroken.
Yeah. Is that too not manly?
Dude,
Oh man,
you were a mess for a week after that.
yeah, but even stuff like that, right? Even when they say like, "Oh yeah,
That's a great point, by the way, because women, they don't want to hear your problems, though. Like, that's one thing, because they can't help anything with it.
Bro, but everything's a balance though. Like that's okay. See, that's the other thing is that I want to kind of distinguish the fact of the red pill stuff and the
Yeah.
manosphere stuff. A lot of their stuff, what they say, is true. Like yeah, you have to have this masculinity about you, a certain masculinity, but then some of them just define it in the wrong ways.
Yeah.
It's like hyper masculine, fucking just like even the look. I know it's true to protect your family and
Yeah, that's what
protect
being
your
a man is all
women,
about.
yeah, and all that. But there's other ways to do that as well. Look, we don't probably does happen from time to time, but how rarely does it happen? I know when shit goes down, you need to be ready, but come on, man. That gets so talked about on YouTube with the red pill guys and the manosphere so much that you got to protect. It's like how
Like
many times are you
physicality?
fucking how many times are you protecting your family? Are you just like in the
Right.
wrong area? Or are you just like protecting them every week? We're not back in the old days where
Right.
bears have to or where lions have to eat us and all of a sudden
Other tribes
people
want
are
to kill you and
yeah
stuff
other
like
tribes
that.
are fucking pillaging your village and shit. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? For the most part, if you stay out of where there's trouble, you'll be good. But I get it. You need to have some sort of sense of self-defense.
Right.
You need to be able to not even just self-defense, man. Just be aware of your surroundings, right?
Yeah.
That's self-defense
And that's
itself.
one thing that alcohol takes it away from you.
Yeah,
right?
exactly, yeah.
So we come back to our original topic of discussion.
Yeah, going back to it, that's one skill that I actually am proud of being sober for. Is you don't truly learn how to be confident when you're getting blitzed every time. And that's just not with dating. That's going to like work functions, man.
Yeah.
I used to here's another story. Like I went to work functions just to mingle, but then I had to have a drink to go to those things. Not so much that it's boring. I don't want to signal that I'm too cool for school, but then it's almost like I feel as if nowadays everyone is saying, or maybe they're counter signaling that they're introverts.
Yeah.
Right? Like I always hear that shit. They're like, especially content creators and stuff. And I'm sure they are. I'm not saying they're lying. But you always hear them say, I'm a natural introvert and then I learned the skill to do it. Right? Like talk in front of the camera, which I agree with you. I agree with you.
Yeah.
But saying that, it is a skill to be learned.
Yeah.
Like, do you know how you get good at talking while being sober?
Just doing it.
Just doing it, talking while being sober. And it truly is a skill, and you learn a lot faster because you have all your functionalities about you. You have your cognitive abilities about you.
Yeah.
So you're able to connect the synapses in your brain. Those synapses are firing off,
Yeah,
man.
all the time, man. They never stop.
Yeah, and especially when you get rejected, doing it sober, or even just having a conversation on a date, and you kind of think to yourself, "Fuck, like I think I fucked up on that one." That's actually a good thing.
But you're learning at the same time.
But you're learning, you're learning at the same time and for the next time, right?
Yeah.
And you learn a lot quicker. When you're drunk, you probably don't even know what you did. Now, the caveat or the benefit of it is that you're probably more exciting because you're just hopped up on alcohol. Right. You're just hopped up of liquid courage. You're like you're pretty much brainless at that point.
Right.
You're like, I went to it, and hey, man,
Go to
that's
sleep,
why
but-
I drank, bro.
Yeah.
Like I just had the most amazing stories. I had the most animated body language. I was just exciting to be around.
Right.
Not to say that I'm not now, but it's a little bit more toned down.
Yeah, you're the heart of the party.
Yeah.
But I agree at the same time, like self-hypnosis, I believe that. Like whatever you say, like your subconscious mind is always listening. So if you say, I'm introverted, or I'm this, I'm a gamer, or I'm a fighter, I'm a doer, then your body like subconsciously repeats that prompt that you just had, and it becomes like internalized in your body.
It's
so if you
true.
say like I'm introverted, then you're gonna think that you're introverted.
Yeah.
I mean, that's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to be more outgoing, to meet with new people, more sociable human person, then it's better for you to reject those self-limitations, the self-limitation beliefs, and try to, I'm going to go out there and introduce myself to two strangers.
Yeah.
It can be a nothing burger. Like it doesn't lead to anything. It doesn't have to be a lifetime friendship or a romantic relationship, whatever. But you step out of your comfort zone, and next time you're gonna be like, yes, I'm gonna talk with 3 people this time, and that builds that confidence that we always talk about.
It's just repetitions, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
And alcohol does help.
Absolutely.
In moderation.
Dude,
you know?
110% agreed.
Yeah.
I always have to say that. I know that this is kind of again, the podcast is kind of like, how I got sober and then self-improvement and stuff like that. It's true. But I also, again, don't knock on alcohol because I know the power that does. I know how fun it was.
Yeah.
It's just, I've seen, I guess you could say, quote unquote, the light, right? For me, the grass was greener on the other side.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to convince anyone of that fact. You live the life how you want to live, but
Yeah, of course.
Trust me, personally, just for me, my life accelerated to a T. And not how fucking rich I got. I'm not even rich, but just my friendships, my relationships, my principles are way different.
Yeah.
You know, how I treat friends, how I go on dates is different. I genuinely don't try to just fuck chicks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I'm a lot older too, but having a clear mind and not having a cloud over your head because of alcohol,
Yeah.
that's what it gets you to do. You're thinking more clear of, wait, am I really happy just dating around? And although I'm single and still dating around, just because I haven't found anyone, it's not doesn't have to anything to do with like being sober or not.
Right.
It's just you tend to learn about yourself when you are sober. You tend to learn more about what you want, right?
Yes.
When you're drinking, just like how I talked about in my relationship, you're kind of clouded, right?
Yeah. Your
Obviously,
judgment is clouded. You see the world in a different lens, obviously, because your senses are numb. And
well,
you know,
look, naturally, we're guys are just physically inclined, you know, to attractive girls,
yeah,
right?
of course, yeah.
Physical first, and then girls, I think, are like emotions first, right? I mean, dude, don't get me wrong, okay?
Right.
Let me make a disclaimer on that.
How deep is your pocket too? Like that's also very important.
To some girls,
Yeah.
depends where you're hanging out,
Right,
right?
that is
I
true.
always gotta say that, but I completely get that, but it's just alcohol amplifies it more. Yeah, like the beer goggles little thing where you're like, oh yeah,
Yeah, a 6 becomes an 8. You know, like a 5 becomes a 7.5.
Yeah,
After like
exactly.
6, 7 beers deep, you know, you tend to ignore those things that give like red flags or whatever you want to call it.
yeah, exactly. And then you kind of just, even without the looks part, it's just you're just ranting on, and then you probably get this illusion because you're fucked up that you liked her.
Yeah,
Yeah, and all that. So that's
and just cause a cascade of drama.
Yeah.
Because you did something that you were shit faced or whatever.
Yeah.
And the next day you feel like kind of bad because you get that energy.
yeah. And me and my ex, we fucking pretty much drank every night, right? And that was, like you said, like a cascade of just bad things. It was just it was like surveillance behavior. It was
Yeah.
like, why are you going out and shit? And all of that was just fueled off alcohol, man. You know, the fights that we had, it was just all fueled of alcohol.
Right.
But nowadays, I also saw something like on the internet, but you're less easy to fool when
You're sober?
yeah, because
Of course, yeah.
they know that you kind of know what you want, right? They're not like, yeah, we should like go out and do this. It's like, what? I get that sometimes it could be lame to not go out and drink. I mean, it's just my life now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun for me, but you can't get fooled into, because you know what you're doing in life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you kind of just, you know, you have a goal to fulfill.
Yeah.
And yes, I understand that you need a balance of that. You can't be all fucking lame.
Oh,
like,
you can't be all work. Like
yeah, you can't
know,
be all
gotta-
work.
Yeah.
And coupled in with the skills that you learn being sober and having fun at the same time, because again, it is a skill. Like life is good.
Yeah, life is
is
great.
good. You're not hungover the next day.
More productive, obviously.
You're more productive. You're more loving too.
Your health is better.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when it comes to dating. I think, especially in this town, in particularly, just based on my experience, I think number one, people go around. That's their main objective, is they go around trying to find like quote unquote love and a connection, which I completely get. But if you're gonna make that your life, man, dude, just I already know that you're trying to externalize your happiness to someone else.
Right.
Which is a bad mistake.
Of course,
You're going to
dude.
keep looking and looking and looking
Never
just
gonna
because,
find,
number one, they can see that. Whoever you're trying to find, they can see that. They're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
That's not a good thing. That's kind of why I get where the quote unquote chase comes from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the hard to get kind of thing. It's because, bro, at least, and I say this for both men and women, have something going on, man.
Of course.
Have
You
something
got to
going
have like a North Star to follow, you know, in life. And it doesn't have to be something massive. Like it doesn't have to be an ideology or whatever, but it's always better to put guiding light towards where you want to go. It can be your family, it can be your job, it can be your hobby, it can be something that you're passionate about. You know, it's just something that push you throughout the day without relying on an external substance or person.
Yeah, that's again. I've said this on podcasts, but then that's all self-respect means. It's not interline. Like I get it. When you're knee deep in a marriage and stuff like that, and I don't know, I wouldn't know because I'm not. But yeah, I guess that's when you can have an emotional attachment. But other than that, I mean, dude, just look around you, man.
Yeah.
It's just there's people that it's like, why do you do this and why do you do that? It's like, dude, why don't you like do something?
Oh, rough.
Right? Like, look, why don't you go
Rough.
do something else other than have your whole life revolve around one person? And I say that, I promise you, in the most empathetic way. I get how attraction can affect people. I completely get that, man. But that's why you need kind of a crutch. You need an anchor.
Yeah.
To be able to say, oh, okay, well, that's probably not the most important thing. It's one of them, but it's probably not the most important thing.
Yeah.
There's probably other areas where I should allocate my energy and not put all my eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And what if that, like you said, that basket rips open and you lost all the eggs? That person that you put all your faith, all your happiness is gone. Then who are you going to left with? Yourself. So yourself is the most important person in your life, right? At the end of the day.
Yeah.
So if you're not happy being alone for an extended period of time, I think everyone that is unhappy with themselves needs to work on self-love. You know, I don't want to like turn this into like a self-love.
Nah, I know.
But you know, if you're getting bored alone, then read a book.
The other problem is this tends to be from like the girls I talk to more than guys. Maybe it's just because it's harder for guys to find an actual connection with a girl more than it is with girls because of supply and demand.
Right.
But it's hard for girls to stay alone too.
Girls
have
a harder time staying alone
Yeah.
than men. 100%.
Bro, even
because
when-
going out into the
Yeah.
wood, like just chopping down trees, living in a hut, like that's a man thing to do. You don't see women do that.
Nah, even when it's just because they have more selection, right?
Yeah.
That's really it's right in front of you. It's because they have more selection. That's not their fault. That's actually a great thing, but they have a hard time being single. I don't know like the numerous times that my girlfriends have said, "Yeah, you know, I'm just going to stay single for a while." It's you know what what I hear when they say that is that I'm not going to drink this week.
That's it.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh God, I had a rough last night. I'm not gonna drink this week, and then next week it's like,
Of
okay,
course,
yeah.
It's the hookup culture too at the same time.
Yeah. I want to talk about like my experience dating sober, because I think it's very fucking interesting. All right, check this out.
So you don't even drink one glass of beer or any pints,
No.
no wines, no fancy drinks, old fashioned.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling
No
you.
cocktails.
No cocktails, nothing. Not even 0% beers. Like zero.
That's just trash, anyways.
Yeah, but some people need it, right?
Yeah.
Because they have that fixation of tasting beers and stuff. But
Right,
anyway,
right.
bro. Okay, I'm gonna first say and foremost, this isn't like a gloat, but you know what, man? When I got sober, I think I've dated more girls on the 3 years that I've been sober, or 2.5, whatever, than I have my entire life. Now I know that sounds kind of bad because you know it sounds like you're just kind of going around and chasing tail. It's not. Just some comes to you. Some, yes, you're a guy, so you approach people.
Of course, yeah.
So, but I think that's due to number one. I don't have alcohol as like an excuse just to drink alcohol anymore. Like it doesn't take a lot of my time because when I was drinking alcohol, honestly, it wasn't to chase tail. It was just to drink and get fucked up because I enjoyed it so much.
Dude, yeah, I hear you.
That's number one. Number two, I didn't know how to talk to women. Honestly, if I was being transparent, I
Right.
didn't know how to talk to women because I got drunk every time. I thought you could just come up to them and be that fucking asshole that's drunk and shit.
Yeah.
Right, and
Some
start
of them
strike
like it though. Like some you might have
Sure,
tried, but
yeah, sure. And
that-
I've had that. Don't get
right.
me wrong. I said that. Not that I didn't get any women when I was drinking. I'm saying I got more women when
you're sober.
When I was sober because I was functionally there. I was just firing at all cylinders.
Yeah.
So it was a lot easier for me.
Right.
Like I said again, it's just the conversation skills that got brought up, and I was really active on it too to learn how to date better. I read books, man. I was reading this book on like this evolutionary psychology book, and then they related it to modern dating. It's called Mate. It's like, I forgot. I keep forgetting these authors, but then it's Geoffrey Miller, right? And damn, that book fucking blew my mind.
Okay.
How women are, if you think about it,
The whole hypergamy thing.
yeah, it explains that too. And if we're gonna go there, not too much into it, because that's also kind of red pill too. But in a sense, it's kind of true, right? It's almost like, yeah, to sum it all up, why would fucking girls want a deadbeat drunk loser?
Yeah, no way.
You know what I mean?
Like they got.
I don't think you have to be hyper rich either.
Yeah.
I think it works out better for you if you are the guy in that dominant space of your domain. Does that make sense? Of your geography or wherever you're at.
I mean, women tend to bet on your future.
Yeah, that's a good one. I agree with that.
That's the whole dynamic. Like, woman bet on a man's future, and a man look at a woman's past.
Okay.
That's why, like, younger women are more attractive to men because they don't have that hardened lifestyle that they had, you know? Because age doesn't mature people. Experiences mature people.
All right.
And that's how I see it. You know, you can see a 55-year-old man who's a boy still, but also you go to a third world country, there's a 12-year-old kid that is more mature than us because this kid's been working since he was born, you know?
Yeah.
So there's this, obviously these are two very different ends of the spectrum, but at the same time, dude, just women have a lot of options today, man. That's just
Yeah, and
to wrap it up.
so
you know?
here's the other thing is that you tend to talk about different things. Okay, I'll relate to that. You know what you said about women, they want to find someone that's projected and going towards
Your better future.
a better future, right?
Yeah. It doesn't have to be, this guy doesn't have to be super rich right now, but in 5 years' time, if he's like building on some stuff, he's working on his health, doing this, doing that, then that's a good horse to bet on.
Yeah, I understand. It's their trajectory. To sum it up, what also does that? Don't drink alcohol. Like,
Yeah.
Be sober.
Yeah.
Because that shows her, first of all, it shows her that you're learning. Like you're just more of an eloquent speaker. You're interested in what you're talking about. Not to say that you can't do that when you're having a few drinks. I completely get it.
Yeah.
But now you have all these things that you've learned from not drinking and actively learning whatever craft or expertise that you're doing. And kind of teaching her some things, right? Teaching her stuff that she didn't know. Now, don't get me wrong, don't fucking babble on.
Yeah.
Don't babble on with, whatever it is you're doing. But it's nice to get a preview of the things, all the small things that you like to do.
You're right.
Which you could explain in better terms when you're not fucked up.
Yeah.
Right? And then you're more aware if you're talking too much, because you get caught up in the sauce when you're kind of drinking, right? You're like, I'm just fucking like, you just blab on and on and on.
That's a
and
turnoff.
And then, you know what's crazy? Sometimes you don't mean to do it. You're just not aware of it.
Yeah.
You're just not aware. You're not fucking talking that much, and you're all belligerent and shit, stuttering your words and all that. And she sees that. Women are really, I gotta say this again, women are really sharp when it comes down to that.
Dude,
especially when it's
100%.
trying to find a mate, right? If they're on the date, oh my God. Their senses are so powerful.
Yeah.
Like they know if you're not confident in yourself, your body language, they'll read it. And they don't even know they're doing this sometimes.
Right.
They learn this shit from
Like,
fucking...
it's natural, right? Like subconsciously, it's in their DNA basically.
Yeah, I've
'Cause
had-
they have
yeah.
everything to lose. Think
Yeah.
about it. Like if you got pregnant with a bad seed, like with a bad sperm, with a bad father, then you get stuck with the kid forever. The dad can always leave. I mean, obviously, it's not a great mind space to be in, but men have a easier way out rather than women.
If you want to impress a girl on the date, just learn to be comfortable in the uncomfortable. And that eliminate the drinks. You'll be better off for it. And that's how you learn the skill to do it.
I agree.
You'll pay attention to more of what you say. Not even almost what you say. You'll kind of get social cues from her that you don't when you're drinking. Because like you said, and like I said, you could be that fun guy. You could be that fun guy for sure. And you could get an immediate kind of reaction from her. She's like, oh, yeah, you're so funny and stuff like that. But how long can you keep that up?
Right.
What, are you going to drink every time you're on a date? Right? Like, you're going to get plastered every time you're on a date?
Not a good look,
I'm
yeah.
sure, it's not a good look. In the long run, even though she's initially attracted to you, she's gonna get sick of you, man.
Yeah,
It's
fade
gonna get
away.
tiresome. It's gonna get tiresome for sure.
Right.
If you don't have the natural abilities to keep her excited, which just means keep her, what's it called, emotionally involved, and it doesn't have to be an act. You just have to be yourself, but you have to be your natural self,
Yeah.
right? Without all that alcohol.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's also, I think, ties up to what we were talking about alcohol last episode. Like, if you need alcohol to hang out with your friend group or your significant other, then that's also a problem.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, if
That's
obviously,
my story of my life.
yeah, it's like the closest 5 people that you spend your most of your time with. If you guys go to a bar Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or whatever, and you actually need alcohol to talk and, like, you know, feel good emotions about each other, then that's not a good thing. By all means, that's just you guys are trying to escape the life that you got living. You know.
Relating to getting girl or trying to go on a date, trying to go on dates and getting girls when you're
Sober.
when you're drunk and you know all that. That's the same with friends.
Yes,
Right? A lot of
exactly.
friends bond. Like you got that drunk friend and you're the drunk person and they bond over just drinking.
Yeah.
You won't see them if you're not fucking drunk.
Drinking,
You
yeah,
see what I'm
it's
saying? Like
just
it's
a
just one
loop.
of those things. And then you'll call them up. I had a buddy like that.
Drinking
right?
buddy, basically.
Yeah,
right?
drinking buddy.
Yeah.
That's
The
literally
definition of-
what it is.
Yeah, drinking
That's
buddy.
literally what it is.
Right.
But then we associate that with just being friends, right?
Right.
You could be. You
Yeah.
could be if you're in the same like pathway.
Yeah.
And you have a lot in common, you know, and all that stuff, and you know how to check yourselves. But
But the way to sustain that relationship is to drink.
yeah, it's
Kinda, you know?
Yeah, and it's always a good. Both of you guys are looking forward to it. It's kind of like, yeah, dude, it's gonna be a fucking dope night.
Yeah, it's a Friday. You know?
Yeah, exactly. And then, but what I come to realize is that when I stopped drinking first, we just stopped hanging out. There was no more reason to hang out because everything was fueled
By alcohol.
Yeah, by alcohol. It was like,
Yeah.
yeah, what? That was so interesting, bro. When it wasn't fucking interesting.
It's just like some random shit.
Yeah, when you're sober shit, you're like, wait, what, dude?
Yeah,
That's so
it's-
stupid.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I know we talked about, we were talking about alcohol again this last week, and it's a big part of this
Whole
this podcast.
podcast,
So
yeah.
it's just kind of like
I
we're
agree.
parlaying, you know, on what we talked about last week.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still a social drinker. Like, I didn't fully quit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm probably gonna drink this Monday, which is my Friday.
Yeah, sure.
But I tend to keep it to modesty because I had a few rough nights in the past
Yeah.
months and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I'm not trying to go back to that lifestyle, you know. 'Cause
Yeah.
Every time you drink alcohol, you become dumber and poorer and less healthy, I feel like.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to demonize alcohol. I think
Yeah.
that's a great invention. Like the fucking Egyptians.
I know you're not
Egypt-
trying to demonize
Yeah.
alcohol. You still drink.
Yeah,
Like,
Egyptians were like
yeah.
drinking like 6,000 years ago, whatever, like Greeks and whatever. So it's actually a great invention, but in moderation.
Yeah.
If you overdo it, you're gonna go sick. Next day, you're not productive. You cause a scene, get kicked out of bars. Your friend had to carry you. You're dehydrated. Like it just creates more problems than it creates solutions. That's for sure.
What do you feel about dating in Las Vegas?
Okay.
All right, we're in this
Rough
thing.
scene. Rough scene.
Why do you say that? Give me your input.
I mean, by rough, if you're looking for a long-term committed relationship wise, like if you're just looking to have fun short term, then just go to a nightclub. Like I do work in a nightclub. Like it's a meat market over there. Like people come to nightclub to have casual sex. Like it's just a matter of fact. No matter you're a dude or you're a girl or whatever, you know, non-binary. It doesn't matter. But to actually establish a long-term committed relationship is way difficult than, let's say, Midwest or some small town. That comes from experience. I mean, you dated in this scene as well. So finding quality people is kind of hard. So you have to go to like gyms or libraries or maybe like some kind of a hobby club, or because you're not going to find the person that you're looking for most likely in a nightclub. Like, let's be real. Even though I love nightclubs, like I like going there. It's just
Yeah.
I'm not a bigot, okay? Like I admit.
So I think I'm kind of like split on this, right?
Okay.
Because I do understand. I've gone to nightclubs a lot back in the day. I've surrounded myself with
Back in the
nightclubs.
80s, the golden time. I
Yeah.
remember, yeah.
It's like
when you were at the afro.
LSD.
When you had the afro.
Yeah. I have mixed feelings about that. I know what goes on. I see what goes on. And whatever. If you're young, fucking have fun.
Yeah.
Right? Like, more power to you. I also understand it is where you kind of hang out. Vegas, I get it. It's a small town. But there are subdivisions or whatever you want to call it. There's certain areas where you can go to find whoever is aligned with your values and principles.
Yeah.
Right? When people think of Las Vegas, it's everything. It's like sex sells.
Yeah. Sin City, gambling,
Sin City,
alcohol,
gambling,
drugs,
alcohol,
prostitution.
Yeah, and then even which I don't see that much, like the gold diggers, and all that stuff.
Right.
The high end escort. They see all that, but it's like, man, I think everyone's just individualized. It just depends.
Mm-hmm.
If you're out at 2 in the morning,
Yeah.
and then that's all you ever experience and you're shit faced, then yeah, you're probably gonna run into those things. But that's no different than being in the Midwest of fucking
Right.
somewhere rural.
Yeah.
You're gonna find whatever it is you're looking for.
Right.
What's that fucking quote? When you come knocking on devil's door, someone's gonna fucking answer.
Fuck around and find out.
Fuck around and find out. That's exactly what it is, dude. Right? If
Right.
you're out there at fucking 1 in, dude, nothing
you-
ever good. There's another saying. Nothing ever good happens past 12 at night. Nothing ever good.
That's way too early, though. No, but yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree. I
Like,
agree.
it's just, all right, yeah.
You deal with different crowds. Like 2 p.m. Fremont Street versus 2 a.m. Fremont Street is a whole different beast.
Yeah.
Like 2 p.m. you see the tourists and with their kids. Look at the screens. Street performers, whatever. But 2 a.m. you see the working girls and the coke dealers and the scum
Yeah.
of the city surface, basically out of the pit.
Yeah. Here's a little nuance that I forgot to talk about. Sometimes, before, not anymore, but I had a fear of missing out, right? When I first stopped drinking and all those other times I attempted to quit drinking,
Right.
I had a fear of missing out when it came to like women. Because I knew I was a different person when I drank. I knew it. I knew I was more exciting. I knew I was more confident. Fake confidence, obviously, but I knew like I swagged, right? Like I walked with a swagger, right? When I was
Different,
fucking
yeah.
drinking because I didn't care. I probably looked stupid as shit, but that's not what really matters, right? It's almost fake it till you make it kind of thing, and you're just hopped up on alcohol, so you don't really give a shit.
Right.
But that's a sub signal too. That's a sub signal. I remember, man, I had so much quote unquote game, or I just knew how to talk to women with alcohol. You know why? Because everything just comes out of my mouth without even thinking about it, obviously. And it's not what comes out of your mouth. It's not really what you say, but it's a signal that, oh, you don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
That's what girls think.
They're just like that.
Yeah, they like it. It's like, oh, he speaks his mind.
Yeah.
But really, it's the alcohol, right?
Not stepping on eggshells, is that
Yeah.
Because most guys they don't. Oh, I don't want to lose this shot. I don't want to offend her. Like who gives a fuck? Just
Yeah, they're yes men,
yeah.
like mostly. And, oh, man, I was talking to my coworkers about this, right?
Okay.
It's like those kinds of, first of all, they can see that. Going back to what we were talking about.
Smart. Women
They
are
can
smart.
they can sense it. They can sense if you're just agreeing with them, just to agree with them to get what you want.
Yeah. To
They
get
can
laid.
Yeah, they can sense you being nice to them and buying them shit because you want something out of them.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, they were built for that, man.
Yeah.
They were built
the
for
bullshit
that.
detector is always working.
Yeah, and then nowadays, I used to be one of those guys too, where I'd say, "Hey, can I buy you a drink?" Nothing wrong with that, but that's almost a shot of if they're already attracted to you.
Yeah.
Right?
If
Then they'll
not,
say,
free
yeah.
drink.
If not, yeah. Yeah, exactly. So rather than, I mean, at least for me, since I'm sober now, rather than just have it, my style, just do that, bro, I just sometimes, if I really, really sometimes I'll feel really good about myself, honestly. I'll just go up to some random girl without being creepy, and I'll just, number one, I'll act like I've known her for years.
Yeah.
That's a good way to, I've mentioned that before. I'll act like I've known her for years, and then I'll just come out with it. if my intention is just to tell her that she's attractive, that's what I'll fucking tell her.
Yeah.
Right? And I'll say I've done this a few times, maybe more than I'd like to, but I'd tell them, "Oh, by the way, you're really attractive. I don't mean to be too forward, but I figure I'd just say that." And then I'd be like, "Okay, have a good workout," or something, or "Okay, have a good day." That's it. That's it. If you can get that going while you're sober, dude, you have a bright future ahead of you.
Yeah.
Like as far as not being scared and being confident to talk to women without the help of alcohol.
So what's like the most common reaction that you get when people ask you out, "Hey Chris, we're gonna do this. You wanna come? We're gonna have a few drinks," and you're like, "No, I don't drink." Like, what's the most common reaction that you get from people?
Okay, so the caveat. Okay, so the biggest thing for people, number one, this is just a general way of how people react is that if you don't drink, that must mean there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, that's messed up actually.
Yeah, in my case, there is something wrong with me, so I get it. But in other people's cases, it's not, which tells you a lot about society. And not really their fault, but it's how alcohol is pushed. And it's legal.
It is.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, of course.
Now
It's
in hindsight,
everywhere.
when I look at it, it's legal. And I'm like, wow. Dude, legalize coke, dude. You know what I mean? You might as well legalize fucking cocaine and all that.
In the city for sure.
Bro, yeah. And yeah. But then nowadays, I just hang out with people because they know. Listen, man, I don't get a lot of it because of my environments. Right? Just, I go to the gym. No one's asking me, "Hey, you want to get fucked up?" Like, all those guys are fucking healthy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, some guys here and there will smoke weed and stuff like that and alcohol, but they're not as pushy to be like, "Yeah, we're going to have a night out. Yeah, we got to train in the morning."
Yeah, next day,
You know?
sparring.
Yeah, we got a fight to go to. Like,
Right.
I got to eat healthy. I got to be
Make
sleeping
weight.
by like 9. Yeah.
You know?
There's number one, that's the environment, which I've talked about numerous times on this podcast, numerous times. That's why I'm so like adamant about that. You are who you hang out with, because it's fucking true, man. It's fucking true. Number two, I've had the same friends for a while, and they know my history.
Yeah.
So they don't. Again, I still go with them to bars and stuff,
Yeah.
but I'm 2.5 years deep, and I know I'm not telling anyone to do this if you have a problem, but I personally can hold it. I don't even think about drinking when I'm at a bar.
So you haven't had a sip of any type of alcohol for the past 2 years?
Nope.
No?
You know
Nada?
dude, here's another crazy thing is that, you know how you said like not have a sip. Sometimes I get dreams about it, but not like in a good crazy way. Not like in a oh
You're
fuck, I need a
dancing with the
drink.
Jack bottles,
Yeah.
Jack Daniels,
Dude.
You know? She's wearing like a nice dress. And
Yeah, bro.
everything.
I had a
A
dream one
romantic
time.
dinner.
I had a dream where someone slipped alcohol in my drink, and I've been sober, and I got super pissed and beat the shit out of someone.
Oh,
I have those dreams.
damn.
Because yeah, I haven't had a drop of alcohol since like 2.5 years ago, and dude, it doesn't fucking. I don't itch.
And how
for
do you
it.
feel? Like you feel much healthier than those
Yeah.
bender days, right? Obviously,
Of course.
even though you're like technically older.
Bro, it's not even
But,
close.
yeah.
It's not even close. When you get older, you get other problems. But then, like, why don't you couple that in with drinking? You'll have real fucking problems.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Right? So, yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, man. I mean, the whole dating thing I thought was interesting. That's why I wanted to talk about it. It's just, yeah, just try to, for anyone that's trying to quit drinking, it's probably one of the hardest things you'll do is quitting drinking. And then on top of that,
Dating.
if you're like some single guy that's looking for a connection,
Right.
that's the second hardest thing you got to do.
Yeah.
So I completely get it. I completely get like the cards are stacked against you, or you think in your head the cards are stacked against you.
Right.
But man, going back to it, I guess it just depends on how you really want it. Because part of the reason why I quit is I wanted a better future for myself so bad. So, and a girl that I could find, right? That was almost the main intention of why I quit. I want a solid relationship. I want a solid connection with a woman, and then eventually have kids. That's really one of the main reasons. Then have whatever, do this and do whatever I want, clean and sober,
Right.
and to feel good about it. And yeah, just it's all on your why, man. It's all on your why. And I found out that sometimes addiction's so powerful that your why may not be as strong. Just quitting, just wanting you to quit to get healthy and stuff, that why might not be strong enough. You see what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, everyone wants to quit alcohol.
Yeah.
But what's really the underlying engine of why you're trying to really do this? What's the purpose? Again, coupled with addiction, that's okay. Like, I understand you want to quit.
Yeah.
But what is it, man? Do you want to, just like me, do you want to find a good relationship? Do you not want to fucking black out every time? That's a pretty good motivator,
Of
I
course,
think.
yeah.
Do you want to start a business that you've been starting? Or do you just not want to talk down on yourself anymore?
Right.
Right?
Yeah. And I think mindset is super, super important here. So if you're a single, sober guy who's looking to find a romantic partner, and if you go to a bar or you go outside with your friends or whatever, and if you're in the mindset of, I'm going to find myself a girl, that's not good. Your mindset is better off if you're just like, hey, I'm going to go out tonight with my friends and I'm going to have fun. I'm not going to drink, but I'm still going to have fun, maybe even more fun than my drinking friends. And if I met someone along the way, that's great. If not, I'm still going to be good. So if you have that mindset, and then you're going to attract more people, I swear. Because if you're like thirsty, if you're like looking at, yeah, I got to find something, then people are going to like, okay, you stay over there.
Yeah, there's places to do that, right? Like you said, in a nightclub. Like you said, it was a, what'd you call it? A
Meat market.
It was a meat market.
Dude, it is, bro.
No, I get it. Yeah,
Right.
it's what nightclubs were literally built for. But yeah, there's places to do that.
I just need to add this up, bro. So the lights are off because it's a nightclub, right? Like there's flashing lights, but it's like super dim, so you don't actually see the faces of people. And like around 3:34, whatever, like when they turn on the lights, bro, I see so many people. Is this what you look like? You know, like, bro, like, oh my god, bro, it's just fucking hilarious.
Well, again, yeah.
Especially with women because they wear like 5 pounds of makeup or whatever.
Bro, that's literally like.
But I saw like disappointment in this dude's face. Is this what I bought drinks for? Didn't I?
Man, you're funny. You're like a bouncer, so you see everything.
Yeah, bro.
That's
I'm
so
sober
funny.
as fuck.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like, my job is like pay attention.
That's so
to, like,
funny.
people,
yeah,
so.
to people watch. Yeah. Oh, that's so fascinating,
yeah.
man. Yeah.
It's fun times. Not for that guy, but
Yeah, but man, yeah, train yourself to just, if you do, this is considering, I'm not telling anyone to stop drinking if you're enjoying it. By all means, enjoy yourself.
yeah.
But if you are, for the ones that are addicted to alcohol, and the ones that do want to quit and kind of improve their lives from there, if you do have a problem with it, and you want to find a connection, like what we've been talking about this whole time, yeah, I think that's probably your the sooner you stop and the sooner you start, the sooner you'll get better at it. It compounds over time. But you can't get good naturally unless you're good at it naturally.
Yeah.
So build up the skill. I think that's the ultimate advice for today, man. I think it's just building up the skill. I'm living proof of that. And I'm not bullshitting here on anyone. The statistic that I told you, my own statistic, to be able to, I've had dates more than, and this isn't like I'm a fucking player or I'm a womanizer, or you look at all the girls I would get. I don't care about that. But I want to find a connection. And what I've noticed is I'm a lot sharper. One of the girls said that I was dating. I asked her, like, hey, what do you like about me? Because I like to get feedback.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, what do you like about me anyway? She said, how you carry yourself. And you know how I carry myself? Well, not drunk.
Yeah.
Meaning I'm not stumbling all over the place. Like, I'm talking to her with intention and deliberate. She knows I'm deliberate about what I want.
That becomes
right?
a part of her character, basically.
Yeah, and it doesn't even matter if I just wanted to sleep with her or something, right? At least I'm intentional and deliberate and honest with what I want and not hiding behind fucking alcohol and deceiving people and... right? Just trying to put a mask on and do all this fake shit like, yeah, what's up, girl? You know, fake confidency and be belligerent and all that stuff. So, yeah, that'd be my advice, man. It takes, again, it's one of those things where you just have to go out and it depends how bad you want it. It depends how much you want to find that connection. That's what it was for me, again, is to find a connection. That's why I do go up to talk to girls. I'm not out there to quote unquote just sleep with someone. I guess if you want to have a good time and I'm attracted to you, then of course, I'm a guy. But that's my main goal. That's why you date, you get to know girls sober, because that's gonna set the tone for this for the rest of your future. When you do meet that special someone, you can have a healthy relationship with them. You can have fun with them, and then eventually you could be a fucking like a not piece of shit dad when you have kids, right? Because you're healthy,
Right.
You can play with your kids because you're healthy and you're not drinking alcohol. Again, it's okay to drink if you could control it. You know, even at that, you can have a few beers.
Right.
But for us that have problems, that's I think my number one advice. Is
But
just
another common mistake that most guys do, and I used to do that too. And I also grew up in a Muslim country. It's a different experience, obviously, but you don't show that sexual side of you that often, especially towards the other gender,
Right.
or to same gender at the same time.
Yeah.
But if you hide your sexual intentions towards this girl that you want to have a relationship with, then that's the fastest lane to friend zone. Because okay, this guy doesn't want to have sex with me.
Right.
So very common misconception again is that relationship first, then sex. It's the other way around. Sex first, then relationship. And I think that's very important.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I'm not saying that first date is like you guys are going to sleep together. No, of course not. I'm not saying that. But you cannot expect to have a relationship without having that intimate connection first.
Yes, especially with women.
Yeah.
A lot of young guys don't know that. I'm so glad you brought that up because a lot of young guys don't know that that it's cross-sex mind reading.
Yeah.
And I said this on the first or second podcast that we have.
Back in the day.
Yeah, is that when girls think what guys think they like, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, or they think what they want to think. It's almost like, oh, well, if I was like, say, Aram, if I was Aram, then I would do this. Well, you're not a guy, right? Like,
Yeah.
you're not a guy. And then that's the same with me.
Yes.
It's like, wait, why is she going out with that guy? I'm the one. You're not a girl. You don't know how she feels.
Right. That's so true.
Right. So it's not even saying. But saying that, yes, a lot of guys mistake, especially a lot of black pilled guys, which is like the what's the fuck? I'm getting blank spaces. It's a involuntary celibacy and incels.
Okay.
It's the
I
incels,
got you, yeah.
right? That the guys that are like in their basement, they gave up on women.
Yeah, that's just, yeah.
Yeah, look, they haven't found, or maybe they haven't read enough books. They haven't found what it is, because what I found out about women, and this isn't like a manipulating thing, is that they're more emotional. That's obvious.
Yeah.
But then, bro, you hear that cliche of, dating above your weight class or dating, she's out of your league and stuff like that. When it comes to attraction, which I don't fucking believe. I think it's the stupidest thing just because it's stupid. We're all equal. But you have a shot,
Yeah.
right? Like, a lot of fucking beautiful women go out with, I guess you could quote unquote, average guys. Whatever
they
the
had
fuck
the balls
that
to
means.
ask her out.
Yeah, or they had the balls to be themselves.
Even better.
Which, the biggest caveat I got from that is that girls are more emotionally inclined. So if you could push the right buttons, and again, I'm not trying to be manipulative, it's just facts, that if you can push the right buttons and be your natural self, and then you actually just talk to her like a human being, make her laugh a little bit, and just be the charismatic person you are, that's very, very attractive. And if you're competent at something, I always say this, but you know what's the most attractive thing to both men and women? Competency. If you're good at something.
Yeah.
Not because you're good at that one thing, it's because you had the mindset, the discipline to get good at that thing.
Right.
So it shows a lot about you, right?
Yeah.
But yeah,
And,
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's we'll end it for now.
I want to add like a short story.
Yeah, go ahead,
With
man.
the nightclub.
Yeah.
And it's gonna all connect together, like how dating in Vegas,
Okay.
like, and the difficulties.
Go ahead, man.
So I was in a nightclub 4 or 5 months ago. It was when I first starting.
Yeah.
So I'm in the nightclub, like just chilling, and I see this girl. We made eye contact. I'm like, I did this, and she actually come over because that's what they love. When you do it and they come over, you're like, okay. And then I ask her like, hey, what's up? You know, where you're from, whatever. And she's like, she showed me her finger, and she's like, yeah, she's married. Like, she had the ring. And I'm like, okay, you're married. Like, I respect that. You know, I do respect that aspect of things. And then she's like, but we're in Vegas.
Oh yeah.
I'm like,
I think you mentioned this
I
on-
did. I
yeah.
did get her Instagram. I didn't hit her up,
Ah.
but you know, that's the buyback option.
Okay. Yeah, right.
But this is the city that we live in. You know, people like travel hundreds, thousands of miles just cheat on their spouses, you know. So
well, yeah, and
it's
again,
kind of
bro,
messed up thing. But
listen, and again, bro, it depends, right? If it's alcohol fueled, if you're in an environment that's alcohol fueled, like the nightclubs,
Yeah.
and what you said about like they dim the lights, they do that all that on purpose.
yes,
They get you fucked up on purpose. It's a status based sex sells kind of area.
yeah,
If that's what you want to do, if you want to have fun and you got that money to do it, and that's your mission to sleep
ahead.
around, go ahead. I promise you, I'm not trying to be like counter signaling over here, but go ahead, dude. Have fun. Go ape shit. I did it, right? When I was younger.
Right.
But it just depends what your area is, man. What do you think you're going to find? Right? So,
yeah.
yeah, man. All right, cool.
Good episode.
Another one in the books. I
Always.
can't dap you because my tattoos went.
Yeah, fresh ink.
All right.
No,
All right.
very
Perfect,
dope.
man.